Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd. We got another big show for you today. Lots to talk about. We got, obviously, a big game this weekend. It seems like it's a do-or-die game for Brian Kelly. A lot of people are off Brian Kelly, or they're off the Tigers right now. A lot of people not necessarily be back on it, but 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Maybe after this weekend if they win.
Weather's nice, I might go.
What's that?
Weather's nice.
Weather's nice. Yeah. But it's obviously a LSU 20th in the country. Texas A&M number 3 in the country. Last undefeated team in the SEC. I don't believe there's a team that's going to go undefeated in the SEC. So hey, at some point, law of averages and the way it's kind of going, at some point A&M's going to have to lose a game. They have not won at LSU since they've been in the SEC, so that bodes well for LSU. But law of averages are they're not going to go defeated in Tiger Stadium forever. So we'll see what happens. What Weeks is out again? Not good. Bernard Gooden still be determined. We don't know. We practice. Who knows what's going to happen this weekend? If that's the case, it seems like you're going to have the same defense that you had against Vanderbilt again this weekend at home, though, which makes a little bit of a difference against an offense that has been extremely efficient throughout the entire year. They have 2 really good running backs. I don't think Le'Veon Moss is going to play, though.
That is the big kicker, huh?
Right. So I don't know if Le'Veon Moss is going to play, but they have another 5-star that they have at running back who's done really well. He obviously will get the bulk share of the carries if Le'Veon Moss is not there. They have 2 really good transfer wide receivers, and obviously Marcel Reed, which all LSU fans know because last year was his coming out party against LSU whenever he came in at halftime and just kind of ruined LSU's season because LSU was really in a situation where if they won that game, they put themselves squarely in their front runners for the SEC in the playoffs, and after that it was a 3-game losing streak. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. We're going to talk about what?
That's what I think of. I think of
What is this?
Garrett Nussmeier.
Oh, yeah.
Panic.
Yeah.
And Le'Veon Moss, also from Walker, Louisiana.
Yes. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about the game right now. We have, obviously, Lloyd, who you've heard. We have our 2-time All-American, Jay Mitch, 1-time football, 1-time baseball. Right-handed quarterback, left-handed center fielder. Join the show, which you just saw his pretty face. We also have Cam Vaughn, now regular, just part of the squad on the show.
I'm just here. I just show up.
The squad, talking defense, talking LSU football. We had there's a lot of conversation over the course of this last week about the linebackers and how they played against Vanderbilt. We have a linebacker in here who was an all-SEC linebacker at LSU, so we're going to talk to him about what they can do to kind of make the adjustments from what they did last week. And you were facing another mobile quarterback, another offense that likes to run the football and move the ball down the field and score points. So we will see. We'll see what he has to say. And
he can sell you a house.
And he can sell you a house. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. One of the best realtors around.
TV.
Give him a shout. CV. Realty. So we have a lot to talk about. We're also going to dabble in the baseball world, college baseball world today. Tony V, Tennessee. A lot of people obviously don't love Tony V from this area. He is no longer at Tennessee, takes the San Francisco Giants head coaching job. Interesting decision, interesting move by the Giants, interesting move by Tony V. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We also have Jay Johnson join the show at 6:45 to talk about their trip to D.C., talk about what the fall has looked like so far, and talk about the state of college baseball and what that means for college baseball now that Major League Baseball is starting to kind of cherry pick some coaches out of the college world. Is it good or bad for college baseball? I personally think it's a good thing because that means college baseball is putting people on notice and putting out really good products, really good coaches, obviously really good players. And so anytime you got the big dogs coming down and try to take college coaches, I think that's a good sign that college baseball is in a good spot. What is this?
Somebody that disagrees. The entire sport of college baseball regresses back into darkness without Tony. Not a single marketable or bankable player, coach, or personality. Tony college baseball would have became to this entire country. Sad time.
One championship does that for you, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait, quick question. Do y'all think
Yep.
college baseball and pro baseball translates? Is the same skill set? Like you look at a Nick Saban. Like not many people have done successfully coaching college football and pro football.
So, I don't know. That's the big question that we need to talk. That we're going to talk about is because you have a guy right now for the Milwaukee Brewers who was a college baseball coach for a long time, but he had some professional experience before, and then was in the minor league. Came back, became a minor league coach, I believe, and then now he's the head coach for the Brewers, and they had the best record in baseball this year. So he's been successful there. But you've never had a college baseball coach go straight from college to the Major League Baseball. That's the first time ever that's happened. So it'll be interesting to see how that translates. A lot of different dynamics, a lot of different cultures. I mean, you got Dominicans, you got Venezuelans, you got Cubans, you got a bunch of people from a bunch of different parts of the world that you're going to have to relate to. So, and he's never.
I would say this too for somebody like Tony V. Look, he's not. I think he's done a lot of. You know what Tony V kind of reminds me of? If I'm being completely honest, he reminds me a lot of Lane Kiffin on the baseball side.
Sure.
Right? Like super young, got in it, super successful, and you're getting an opportunity to see him grow, like literally as like a human, as a matured human. And so when you knew Tony V as an assistant, young at Arkansas, he was super fiery, and he's still fiery now. But you've gotten an opportunity to see him basically be able to tone some of that down, at least frontward facing. While he's the manager of a team, I have no clue what it's like or what it looks like in team meetings behind closed doors, blah, 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 blah. But when you play every day compared to when you only play 3 to 4, maybe sometimes 5 times a week, but literally every day, and you're going to go through those long stretches, it's how do you manage those emotions in front of a group of grown men? And that may be something that he has to deal with. That's something that may be something that's different for him.
Yeah, and look, I don't know. I've never played for him, so I don't know. I mean, I don't want to compare him to him because I think they're different coaches. But a guy that of recent memory that had a lot of he was younger. He had a lot of
gusto,
bravado, a lot of hey, look at me type thing was Gabe Kapler. And he had some antics that a lot of people did not like. The players did not like him. It did not last in professional baseball, and he had a ton of time in professional baseball. So, I don't know. We'll see. We got all show to talk about that, but we're here. We don't want to take up Cam's time. We want to talk football.
Sounds good.
Because we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot. They got a big game this weekend. Texas A&M is favored by 2.5. It may have gone up now that Weeks is officially out. I don't know. But Texas A&M, I think they're better right now, than Vanderbilt. They're ranked number 3 in the country. Vanderbilt's very good. They're favored again this weekend. Not taking anything away from Vanderbilt, but Texas A&M's undefeated. They're 7-0. They've beat that Notre Dame win looks a lot better than it did at the beginning of the season. And they've taken care of business on every team that they've played. They've won different ways. They've won in shootouts. They've won in close games. But they present challenges to LSU similar to what Vanderbilt did in the sense of they have a quarterback who is athletic. He's going to be able to get out the pocket. He's going to be able to escape pressure. He's going to be able to beat you with his feet and his arm. And last weekend, LSU did not defend that very well. Now they're at home, and they have an opportunity to play in front of their home crowd. As a linebacker, when you see that, a lot of that falls on the linebacking core, right? When a quarterback's kind of get outside contain, when passes are being completed over the middle of the field, how do you defend that? And what do you think went wrong last weekend, and how do they make the adjustments for this weekend?
I mean, a lot of it just takes discipline, right? Vandy had a great game plan in that they, put LSU's players in a lot of run pass or a lot of responsibility conflicts, right? So you blitzing off the edge, but you also have contain. And then just a thing that also drives me nuts is upfield shoulder. If your camera right here, if you're blitzing off the edge, you got to come off you got to go after the quarterback's upfield shoulder, especially coming from the blind side, because you see all the time a quarterback roll out, upfield and then take off for huge yardage. So LSU missed that a couple of times. We had some incidents with Perkins coming off the edge. There's a stretch play or a fake stretch play away from him. He's over pursuing, and they run a boot back towards him, right? So he misses that. And then again, it's kind of controlled chaos. You're blitzing, you gotta be coming in aggressive. But if the play is stretch away from you, you gotta play the fake, right? You gotta play the cutback. You're not gonna make a tackle front side on that. So you gotta play with a little more control, a little more discipline. It's things like that they missed. There was some situations where Weeks was a bit of a run pass conflict, so he kind of sat in no man's land and had a completion behind him. Perkins on the goal line, he had a little run pass compact where he let a tight end go wide open in the end zone. But it really comes down to you got to play with real strict eye discipline. You got to know your role and do your job. Like Sean Payton used to say all the time, do your job. You can only be responsible for what you can do. You can't be Superman out there.
And we talked a lot about the defense and a lot about how exotic they get with their blitzes, right? They blitz a lot to get pressure on the quarterback because they're not getting pressure on the front with their front four, right? When you're playing man coverage or when you don't have your linebacker who's a great blitzer in Whit Weeks, right? And so you're not getting to the quarterback as much. How do you combat that, right? Like you have to try to blitz to try to get pressure, but then you're setting yourself up to have put yourself in a situation where if you don't get to him and it gets blocked, you kind of leave yourself vulnerable.
And that may be the scariest thing looking at this week, right? Because I think what a guy that can run on you like that, like Pavia did, like Reed can do, you can't be playing man because everybody's backs are turned, everybody's backs turned to the quarterback, everybody's looking on the receiver, so it leaves wide open in of the middle of the field a lot of times. So you got to be more in the zone thing, but LSU's thing is pressure. That's their whole defensive identity is pressure, which leads to more man coverage. But so if you allow, I'd prefer them to sit in some kind of zone situation so they can have eyes back and pass off crosses and so on and so forth. But then they're far from full strength, so the chances of them getting pressure like that is not very good, which gives the quarterback all day to throw the ball, and it's hard to cover. Those receivers, especially, got really good receivers for that long.
Well, and then when you in the middle of the field's open the way it's been open, right? Like the last week, you don't really your strength of the defense so far has been the cornerbacks and the safeties.
Yeah.
Right. And whenever the middle's open, and they're not really testing the strength of your defense, it just kind of almost infuriates the defense because you're just dropping it off to tight end, dropping it off to tight end over the middle. Quarterback's running around. You didn't have a ton of big completions to the wide receivers.
No.
You had a bunch of big completions to the tight ends, and the quarterback had a bunch of scrambles for big yards. So it kind of takes away the strength of your defense when you're not able to force them to the outside and you're giving the middle of the field wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. And then schematically, Vandy did a great job because what LSU is doing is they're blitzing over the linebacker. One linebacker has the running back. One linebacker has the tight end. So if the tight end runs out, the running back runs the other way, the linebacker's blitzing, there's nobody left. We're out of people, right? Everybody else is on, playing receivers 10, 15 yards down the field, which leaves wide open middles for a quarterback who, like Pavia, like Reed, they'll take off and they'll take a quick 15 yards, no problem. So again, it's a scary setup coming into this week, and I'm hopeful they can make some adjustments, but we'll see.
We'll see. Jared.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're speaking about last weekend, you had a dual threat running type of quarterback, a backfield creator type of quarterback, and then you're going to go into this year, who, if we all remember correctly, a year ago, he absolutely hammered LSU's defense in the second half of that game at Texas A&M. So you got another dual threat quarterback, and if there's an opportunity or a chance that you might be without Bernard Gooden again, or you might be without Whit Weeks again, if you were writing up this plan and watching what you did last week, like what would you change and how would you go into trying to attack Texas A&M this week?
Ooh, good question. I don't get paid the millions that these Blake Baker gets. But I think you got to mix it up. You're gonna have to coach up your young guys. Obviously, they're working with a lot of second string backups and linebacker and D line. So you got to hype those guys up, let them know that you're counting on them. They got to produce, right? Do something, not too much. You don't have to be Superman, but you got to do your job and do it at a high level. Second, you got to mix up. You got to bring pressures, but you probably can't bring pressure on every play like they typically do. You got to be real disciplined and your responsibilities, right? And then there's going to have to be a spy in there. They kind of gotten away from that spy thing since last year. I think they need to have not every play, but Perkins has had to spy from time to time. Especially on third and long type situation because Reed can easily run for 10, 15 yards.
Yep.
How much do you think that not having a Whit Weeks for Harold Perkins to kind of play off of impacted him last week?
I mean, it looked like a lot.
Because it seemed like he was trying, almost over compensating for him not being there, trying to make more plays because he knew he didn't have his guy next to him. And you saw some of that kind of bear fruit on the defensive side.
Right, for sure, and that definitely could have been. Obviously, we're not in there with those guys. We don't know what their thought process is. But I mean, obviously, Weeks is a huge. I mean, one play caller, leader, emotional leader, literal, giving instructions out on the field leader. So his absence is definitely going to be missed. Now, if Perkins felt that pressure and that he needed to play that much better, make a play, maybe. But again, you can only do what you can do. I mean, football to me is the ultimate team sport. You need 11 people doing what they're doing, 11 people on the same accord to make anything good happen. So, again, it's about doing your job, playing with discipline, making something happen.
I just do think that there's a world in which you've seen. I know Tyrann Mathieu was one of one where he kind of did whatever he wanted on the football field, and it feels like Harold Perkins is that type of athlete, and he's almost overthinking or overcompensating. It's one of the two because he's not. And I know people can go back to the freshman year, and that's what everybody points to whenever he was dynamic. And then it feels like
but he was dynamic at rushing.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm getting at. Is like, when do you just start doing that again? If you can put him in conflict as much as they have, whether it's Ole Miss, who puts him and basically takes him out the game, didn't see him, or Vanderbilt continually trying to make him make a decision and felt like he made the wrong one. When do you just kind of go back to what you did great? Maybe we should just do that again.
But I don't think there's a reason for him to not do all of it per game, right? But to me, it seems like they're doing one thing per game. And Ole Miss, we're going to have you out here covering the flat and the curl and that stuff. Vandy had them, largely coming off the edges and stuff like that as far as run pressures and things like that, some tight end coverage, running back coverage. But I mean, I think if your play calling is varied enough, there's situations where he can spy, there's situations where he can come off the edge, there's situations where he can be in coverage and showcase those abilities. But it's just a matter about Baker putting it together and having a solid scheme and use them in the right situations.
But you know what? It's funny you say that too, Lloyd, because now I go back. I always love to go back and kind of look at some of this stuff and really think about it. Man, we don't really realize, like, as loud as he was when he came on the scene, without a doubt, week 2, week 3 that year against Mississippi State, his freshman year, he had a sack and a half against Mississippi State, right? He went another full month, 4 straight games without a sack, and then Ole Miss has 1 sack, Alabama has 1 sack, Arkansas 3 sacks, and not another sack for the rest of the season. So it seems like it was this on the scene whole year. All he did was rush the passer. If you look at it truly at what it was on the year, it was a 3-week span of like truly raising hell. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't disruptive these other times, but it's pretty obvious that teams started finding ways to say, hey, wait a second, let's account for him, and we know how to. And it was easy to. And that's what people started doing. So I think the staff understands that as much as people clamor and want, hey, how about you just go let him do what he did best and do that? Well, the stats suggest it was more of a flash in the pan than it was I dominated at this spot all year, let me do my thing.
And sacks are kind of more of a quarterback stat anyway, right? If you got a good quarterback who can get rid of the ball, who understands, his offense, he can see defenses, read stuff like that, he can get rid of a ball. And even if it's not a completion, he can not take a sack.
I'm glad you said that because there's been a lot of conversation, rightfully so, of the offense, about the offense, right? Nuss hasn't been good. Offense hasn't been consistent. All true. But you look at last weekend, and they were better. They weren't elite. They weren't dynamic. They weren't like, oh, we scored 40 points. Look, the offense is back. But you saw Nuss get back to a little, like he wasn't having turnovers. He was on his back
a lot
all game. I don't think they had 1 registered sack though. Last weekend against Vanderbilt. Is that right?
Sounds right.
I don't think they sacked him 1 time as much pressure as they had. So you talk about being a quarterback's stat, him getting the ball out quick, him doing what he needs to do. Now, there are some times where, like, you held your breath because he did get hit and the ball kind of floated out there and it worked out. But if we're going to look at something, glass half full type of thing, and you want to say, oh, well, what did we do well? I thought that he performed better than he has to this point in the season, right? He got the ball out, didn't turn the ball over, seemed like he knew where he was trying to go with the football, was a little bit more decisive, didn't work out, but they scored 24 points. They probably could have scored more. They had some drops. They had some other things that weren't super consistent. The biggest issue with them is when they get to the goal line, they don't punch it in. They get 3, not 7. But as a defensive guy, did you see the offense have improvement? I guess, is that the word? Improvement?
Yeah, improvement for sure. Like, I think you're dead on. They weren't the world's greatest offense by any means, but I think it was probably their best offensive performance that they've had this year. I think they got a push on the run plays. I think they're averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry on the run play. They finally broke 100 yards. I don't know if they did that yet in any meaningful game quite yet. So I think their offense looked a lot better. There's lots of drops. I think getting he said he was going to get what's his name?
Anderson?
6. No.
Barry and Brown.
Brown, yes, thank you. You're going to get him involved. He got the first 6.
Yeah,
he did.
They're just like feeding them. But yeah, that is something for the level of talent I think this receiving corps have. They dropped the ball a lot.
Yeah,
they dropped the ball a lot.
I think they lead the SEC in drops with. I've seen the number go from 17 to 20 depending on which how they chart the drops. But to me, that says more about what you're trying to do offensively than it does about, I guess, the wide receivers. You're putting it into. It's the short passing game. It's like it's so many opportunities that you're going to drop more passes because of the way that you're trying to force feed everyone because you can't run the football.
Sure, you get more opportunities, but it's.
I'd like to see you catch it too.
You got to catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. They're not like they're hard catches either.
Right.
No, because they're short passes.
Right.
But it feels like they just haven't really. I don't know if this is what they practice, to be honest.
Dropping balls.
And look,
dropping balls.
No, but like the short screen game and whatever they're trying to do, it feels like they kind of drew it up in the sand.
And we don't want to harp too much.
Nobody's on the same page.
That is true. And we don't want to harp too much on what happened at Vandy. We want to talk more about what's going to happen this weekend, hopefully. I think nobody in this room is super confident that LSU can win the game. But I think everybody in this room and on the show via video wouldn't be shocked if LSU won this game. It just feels like a game that LSU wins because there's no rhyme or reason. There's no explanation. They just somehow figure out a way to win. It's going to be difficult, though. With the weather being potentially sloppy, it seems like it's starting to maybe look a little bit better. That doesn't bode well for a team that doesn't run the football very well.
Or be able to score in the red zone.
Or don't score in the red zone. So, for me, I think you have to be able to keep them to 21 points or less.
You have to flip this graphic. You can't get down there 11 times and have 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Is
that just SEC games?
Yes.
Yeah.
The ones that matter.
Yeah, right.
Well, Cam, let me ask you this, because as we're talking about that, we expect this offense would have to score more than what they've done recently. We kind of talked a lot about the past, wanting to see the game, the role, the route tree, however you want to look at it or call it, and however they utilize straight as green, kind of grow from just the rebound, I guess, role, if you will. And we're kind of seeing that happen a little bit. If you got somebody that's a straight up mismatch problem like he is in terms of size and ability, from a defender standpoint, how do you go about putting together something to say, hey, look, this is their top or one of their top targets. He's somebody we're going to have to try to stop. How do you stop a guy like that?
A lot of effort. I don't know. I think you can
sack the quarterback.
Double him. If you can get pressure on the quarterback and force some bad throws. No, it's tough, man, because the guy's a tremendous athlete. He's huge. He's got a wingspan of, Lord knows. But, I think your best option would be, put your either a solid safety on him and cover him like that, or you can have a linebacker playing underneath and then or in a safety playing over on top of him. But, again, every time you double somebody, you're taking a man away from somebody else. So situationally, goal line going in, you probably definitely want to put two bodies on them for sure. But yeah, you're just gonna have to have somebody step up. You could try, zone situation where you're passing them off, but it's not like he's running huge drag routes or anything like that. Long routes, he's usually headed to an area and stopping or turning out. So if you can get a solid linebacker, a good safety on him, or you have to double him.
And look, if we're talking about matchups, right? We talked about we need to hold A&M's defense or offense to 21 points. A&M's defense is giving up points.
Yeah.
Right? The two true road games they've played against or they've played this year, Notre Dame and Arkansas, both teams scored over 40 points against them. So they're gettable in a sense, right? Now they do get after the quarterback, which has not been LSU's strong suit, as being able to protect. But if you're able to give them some time, I think that you have the potential to score some points. You have the potential to maybe make some big plays. You haven't really done it yet this year. And I think that's the theme too, is like we haven't done it yet. At some point, it's 7 games in the season, we may not do it, right? But you have the potential, you have the ability. You showed last year you have the ability to make big plays. And so, to me, like if you're able to protect him just a little bit.
We said he's only been sacked once in the last 2 games, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been pressured.
He's been pressured a
Lots
ton.
of pressure.
That ball, the way the ball comes out, you can tell. And Texas A&M is going to do the same. The book is out.
And A&M gets lots of props for their front 7, right?
Yeah.
So, which is going to make running for LSU super hard because they're already not good at it. But they give up a lot of points. I think Auburn only scored 10, but everybody else scored 21 plus, up to 40, 42 or something.
Yep.
I think
40. I think Notre Dame was 41, and I think Arkansas was 40 or 44, something like that.
Yeah, it's 40-46, and then 40-41 against Notre Dame.
Yeah. So they'll definitely give you some opportunity to score some points. So everything's a copycat lead, right? See what those guys did and do that. I think LSU's got, outside of the offensive line, they probably have the talent to do whatever Notre Dame did. They have the talent to do whatever Arkansas did.
Yeah.
They have that talent. So let's figure out those weaknesses and do those things.
That's it's been an issue. Ole Miss was gettable, didn't get them.
And that's the crazy
Felt like
thing.
South Carolina was a little more gettable. We played better, just turned it over.
It's crazy how much it feels like this has been like the season's written off and you've lost 2 games by 12, like a combined 12 points.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
just the way that it feels, the
way
temperament
that it
around
looks.
it.
Ways that look. You go out there this weekend and you play well. Like you actually like. And we say this every weekend. It's a big if. I'm not saying they're going to do this, but they have the potential to do it. That's what makes LSU so maddening. Is they have the talent and they have the ability, and you've seen it in spurts. And if you say, okay, they put it together and they figure it out and they look good against A&M, you're like, oh shit, okay, like that's the best team they've played all year. You beat them, and now you put yourself in a situation with a bye week before you go to Alabama, which Alabama then will be the best team that you played all year on the road, which you've been horrendous on the road. So
what do you rank 20th, 25th?
you rank 20th right now,
and you are a 2.5 point dog to or favorite. No, 2.5 point dog to the number 3 team in the country.
Right.
It's crazy. And that goes to, I think that's the whole college football season thus far, right? And that goes to kind of the parity of it all. That's the NIL era, the transfer portal era. Nobody's stacking talent anymore. Alabama no longer has 3rd-string players that will be starting other places, right? So the parity is there. Kelly I think it's kind of a scapegoat move, but he's been harping on, well, the average win is only 10 points and this, that, and the other. But the fact that it is true.
We won the game.
It is true. Wins are definitely hard. There's more parity, so wins are harder to get by this year probably than any other year. And the advent of the 12-team playoff. A 9-3 team will likely be in the playoffs. At least one. Multiple 9-3 teams could potentially be in the playoff too. So, but
I just don't think LSU's the sexy pick.
See, the problem is that you just look at their schedule going forward, and you're like, to win all of them, even just to win 3 out of 4, it's like, not what they showed us. You know?
Well, because
I think that's the biggest problem of it, man. I think right now you don't feel like you understand that, hey, you can lose games and still get to the college football playoffs. But LSU's schedule, I should say, is not Notre Dame's schedule. Like you have a schedule that is kind of packed from the beginning to the end of it. So you take 2 losses before we even flip the calendar to November, and you're sitting there and you're like, realistically, is there a world where they could get into the CFP with 1 more loss? I say yes. But that also means 3 out of these next 4 conference games, they have to look so damn good. Yeah. Like so good. You got to win 3 of them, and the one's got to be maybe a really well played game at Alabama. Like it's got to be something like that. And it's like, is there a world where that can happen? Yeah, but it's not likely. And a team that has played the way they have, even though it's a combined loss of only 12 points, they haven't felt like those kind of losses. So you sit there and you're like, man, I don't know if they can get there based off of just how you've played and not necessarily just the losses or how much you've lost by, but it's what you've actually showed up and done so far to this point in the year.
Yeah, and you look at the schedule, LSU has had problems on the road. So you have the number 3 team at home, but then you got Alabama on the road and Oklahoma on the road. Mateer is going to be fully healthy by the time you play Oklahoma the last game of the season. So you haven't shown up to this point in the season that you can go on the road and continue to do the things you've done at home, which is also a huge concern, because that's where the strength of that's where the tough games are going to be on your schedule outside of the one you got right now, right? And if you lose this game and you lose to Alabama, I wouldn't be shocked if Arkansas came here and beat us.
That's where a lot of people are.
Yeah. And really, and that could, because at that point you have people be phoning it in. People be, I'm sitting out. I got to get ready for the combine. I have to.
You already have it happening now. Ashton Stamps portal.
So you got Ashton Stamps in the portal, and you got Jordan Gilbert in the portal, which he's a 5th-year senior. So I guess he's got a 6-year of eligibility. I guess
COVID year, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
He might be the last one.
Maybe the last COVID guy. I don't know.
Be, yeah.
I mean,
Pavia's probably got a COVID year too.
Yeah,
Pavia's there. He's petitioning for another year from JUCO. I don't know. But, you're starting to see guys, what you knew was going to happen. And I think we knew that on Monday talking with Bryce about, like, hey, these guys haven't played. They've only played in 3 games. Technically, I guess you could redshirt. Gilbert could redshirt and transfer next year and be a 6-year senior. It seems like since they haven't seen the field that much that they're probably going to be out.
in Stamps, it's unfortunate because he played a ton.
He started last year.
Played every game.
Every game.
The last 2, he's been a 2-year starter. Comes in, and then obviously LSU was, goes from recruiting to going to the portal, and you improve at that position, and he's left kind of out in the cold. So, unfortunate for him. Best of luck. But that's kind of where you are, as like you could see people with kind of 1 foot, like, I don't think I can make it. If you're undefeated, I think it's harder to transfer. If you feel like you can make an impact on a team that is in a position to win a national championship, you don't get off the boat.
Yeah,
correct.
And he's off the boat,
no doubt. And that's like it's not abnormal now in the
age
of college football. And so,
but this is the real problem.
I can't find. Look, I saw this. I can't find LSU in there.
It's down at the bottom right. It's the only one. They're on an island by themselves.
Where? Oh, there they are. I looked at this thing for like 15 minutes.
That's the problem.
And I'm like, where? I was like, where is LSU? There they are.
I can't. What's the X and Y axis? What do we? What's the?
So it's quality.
Means right there, or you mean what actually is it? Yeah.
Yeah. What is the information on the X and what's on the Y? I can't see
the. Yeah, I can't see the other one.
So it's quality drive rate and points per quality drive rate. So LSU is being able to drive the football, but they're not scoring any points.
Which is what you see.
But that's it. Like they're alone.
Yeah.
They're the only team in the country that's like, you're moving the football.
Because it's wild. It's wild to actually be able to move the field down. I mean, if we talked about that, it gets tough in the red zone. It's much smaller space. Everybody's close together, this, that, and the other. So it's tough to score in red zone for sure. But to be able to move,
that
60 yards consistently and not be able to get the last couple is wild. And then they had that first and goal from the goal line. And then they have a 3rd-string tight end in there jumping off sides. Like, why was he even
after
in the game?
A timeout?
Yep.
Why was he even in the game? What was he doing in there?
And we talk like those are the issues that are frustrating. Is like you finally start to put stuff together, and then you have unforced errors.
Yeah.
Like you have mental mistakes that send you back that you can't afford to have when you have an offense that's not efficient. They don't score points.
And that's what Flynn said, and he's been a part of I believe he said 7 offenses in his life, and the NFL and college. And it's like, when you're a struggling offense, you find ways somehow to beat yourself, and that's what LSU, like, you find new ways to invent. Like, how did this doesn't happen,
right?
And LSU was constantly doing that, whether it's out of a timeout, false start, or out of a timeout again. You actually draw up one of the better plays you've had in the red zone. False start. It's just.
I mean, Cam will tell it to you, dude. Like, when you're playing football, man, honestly, that is one of the hardest things to do that people just don't understand. There is 11 people that have 11 different responsibilities that even on those responsibilities, they're dynamic. As looks change, those responsibilities change. And you need all of those people to know to do it correctly and to continue to do it competitively and continue to do it consistently. And like, that is the hardest thing that there is, because it only takes one. Like, if you got a team of 11 and you got 2 people doing it wrong and they only got 1, there's a good chance they beat you at it. If this play they got 11 people doing it right and you got 10, they beat you at it. And it's like little things like that good teams, they just do it more, they do it better, they do it more consistently. And quote unquote bad teams, they mess it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's how you become inconsistent.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to have, especially in the SEC when you play a quality opponent every weekend. This weekend though, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have too much more time with you, so I want to get your thoughts on your predictions. And you're like, hey, if I see them do this,
keys to victory.
To victory.
If I see them do this, I will feel a lot better about where they are in the game and of maybe winning, or I'll feel a lot better about them moving forward in the season.
I will feel tremendously better if the defense can get pressure with 4 on, obviously on pass plays. If they can get pressure on 4 and control the line of scrimmage, and then just better technique. I feel like, they're like blitzing off the edge. They had some open shots on Pavia last week and just missed, which is honestly harder than you would think it is, running, blitzing the quarterback and unblocked because you're coming full speed, and the slightest move on the quarterback can throw you off. So it is hard, but their technique wise is not been sound in that regard. So yeah, if we can get some pressure with 4 on the defense and then better technique coming off the edge, we'll love to see that. Outside of that, and this last week excluding, their defensive performance has been really good. If we can get offensive line protection,
that's
if we can
not going to happen.
You're not gonna have Tyree Adams; he's out.
So I mean, I'm just and then X factor, 12th man, if we will.
Yeah.
If the crowd can stay in it for 4 quarters, that would be impressive. That hadn't happened in a while.
Yeah, there have been a lot of rumors out there that Tiger Stadium's lost its luster.
Yeah, I think the fan base is kind of fed up with Brian Kelly and the product that they're putting on the field on a regular basis. But if they can, you got a top 10 opponent, you got a top 3 opponent, Death Valley at night, Tigerland will still be there after the game.
That's
just wait till the clock's at 0.
I don't think people.
But here's my issue.
I don't think people care.
Here's my issue. It can't be about the guy on the sideline.
It is.
But it can't be. It's got to be about the players on the field. Like we talked about this on Monday. Mm-hmm. LSU is going to be LSU. It was LSU before Brian Kelly, and it's going to be LSU after Brian Kelly. So what makes LSU great is the atmosphere and the fans and the people around it. And if you let one guy take that away from you, then you're no longer LSU. And that's my issue. It's like you can't allow somebody to suck out all of your fandom.
The brand.
Just can't.
Like, that's what LSU is a home game at night. Like, you're losing. If LSU was to go in there and the fan base is indifferent or almost wants to see LSU lose, you kind of lose part of what made LSU LSU, and they're going to start realizing that. And if he stays and Brian Kelly just continues to be the head coach, you probably don't get as many night games. And it starts to impact what the culture of the program is. That's where I think people are kind of missing the plot of, I want to see Brian Kelly lose out so he can go. It's like, you don't know if he's going to leave or not. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than one man. You want to see LSU succeed. Texas A&M has never come into LSU and won.
Right.
You would like to continue that and just, I know it's not what everybody hoped it would be, but you would now you just got to take it one. You literally have to go 1-0.
You can't. You've got to do your best to say, okay, this is where it is. We got to be the best we can for this one game and figure it out after that.
Because they're talented.
For sure. I think y'all hit nail on the head. Like, LSU's getting night games because of the history of LSU at night games, Tiger Stadium night games. So they need that ruckus crowd, because if the crowd clears out in the third quarter, the chances of them getting a night game again goes way down.
Right.
So they need that. I mean, just for the environment, obviously, for the noise factor, but just
TV
for the TV, for the TV revenue and all that stuff, and keeping that prestige. People got to stay in it.
No doubt.
I think that's the really important fact that you bring up, and all of y'all talked about it. I think y'all hit it on the head. It's that one man can instill a lot of belief in whatever it is that the team is going to show up and do on a weekend night, right? And then from a crowd standpoint, you can be like, well, I don't believe in that one man, so it's hard for me to go hard and give you all of this. That sounds logical. But as a fandom, as that side of you have to also understand, if I'm not going to go out there and give it all of this in this primetime night game and it doesn't have that feel, LSU starts to lose that mystique no matter what's happening on the field, right? And so if you're no longer going to give it as a fan base, you're no longer going to be awarded those primetime night and the type of games that everybody wants, right? And I think that's the conundrum as a fan base that you're stuck in, because you're like, it seems like a lot of people are like, well, I don't believe in Brian Kelly. I want him out. I want better, so we're not going to support it. Well, if you don't support it, you no longer get these. And when you stop getting these, it's going to take you a little bit to get them back. I mean, that's fair, right? Like, they'll go somewhere else and somebody else will say, hey, this place is the best and this place has had this kind of atmosphere, and they'll give that an opportunity for a while. How are you going to get back into those spots? And that's where you don't want to be as a fan base. So it's best as a fan base that you show up and your team's out there on the field. You showed up. You paid the money to be
tickets,
there.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Enjoy yourself.
Go do your part.
Yeah.
They're going to give them games to Kiffin. He's been lobbying for them.
Yeah,
this
no
season,
doubt.
So
No doubt.
You know where you can. You know where you can get them. Come to Baton Rouge.
We're not get there yet.
Not happening.
Nope, not happening.
Why does he leave? I mean, a lot of people, are hopeful about just various places, but a lot of time, realistically, for what he's built at Ole Miss, and obviously I'm biased towards LSU, it's a lateral move, and then it's even a step down because you have to build up what you do at the whatever he goes, Florida, LSU, whatever. He would have to build up the program to where, but he's already done that at Ole Miss. So outside of it being in Oxford, Mississippi, why why would you want to leave?
That's it.
But he's got enough money to make Oxford fun. He's going his yoga classes every day or whatever he's doing. He's doing all right.
I think he's enjoying it.
And Baton Rouge has a propensity to ruin whatever you have good going for you personally and professionally. Just seems like it happens. You might get back on the wagon again.
Maybe.
Whatever new coach is hired, y'all call me up for your real estate needs.
Yeah,
Don't get trapped.
With that said,
don't get trapped with some of these other cats.
Before I love that. That should be how you end the show. Before I let you go, though,
you know.
Prediction.
A&M scores a lot of points. A&M has a great front seven. A&M is undefeated. They are, and LSU is struggling. When they're not struggling offensively, they struggle defensively. But to our earlier conversation, is Death Valley at night, and the Tigers are playing. So I'm gonna have a drink in my hand. I'm going for the Tigers.
I love that.
That's right.
I love that.
Go Tigers.
I love that. Go Tigers. Appreciate you again. You can stay, talk ball with us whenever. National championship coach.
Two-time.
Two-time. Jay Johnson is on the show. He's not on there call yet.
He just joined.
He just joined.
Putting the pressure on.
What time did he say he was going to be on?
6:45. He's always prompt. He's always prompt.
Should have been on 5 minutes ago. You got to be 5 minutes early. You're late.
That's it.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, dude. Thank you. All right. No hesitation. No.
Straight to it.
Straight to it. No delay game. We are excited to introduce the friend of our show, Lloyd's best friend,
father,
two-time national champion. Visited the White House, looked very sharp and spiffy at the White House. Coach Jay Johnson. Coach, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I thought you guys were mad at me or something.
No. Listen, we're giving you some space away from Lloyd. We wanted you to, enjoy your time.
Coach, I lobbied to have you on once a week, and they're like, no, I'll leave him alone. I was like, well, how do you not want to have a national championship head coach on? Like, it's football. So he's like, well, baseball actually is carrying the till here.
Which is why we have him on.
Yeah.
Because baseball
actually said Coach was enjoying being an empty nester. When you got Lloyd out the house a little bit, you can relax in the house. You enjoy his own time a little bit.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
That's it. But we're excited. We're excited to have you back on, talk a little bit about baseball. Obviously, I'm going to get to the fall season that you have going on. A lot of new faces, a lot of guys that you have coming back. But before we do that, I do want to talk about Major League Baseball right now. You have the World Series going on. You have two players from LSU that are representing teams. One of them you coached, and Paul Gervais. He's on the Dodgers roster. I don't think he's on the actual World Series roster, but If they win, he gets a ring. And then obviously Kevin Gausman, who's been one of the best pitchers in the Major League Baseball, especially down the stretch. How awesome is that for LSU, for you to be the head coach of LSU, to see them represent LSU on the biggest stage?
Yeah, it's awesome. And two real different stories. I mean, Kevin was superstar right from the start. I remember seeing him in high school. I think I was at like the University of San Diego at the time, so a long time ago. And you could tell he was really good, but he just came after you, and it's like, that guy's going to the major league someday.
Yeah, right.
And like, you knew it right away. Obviously had a great career here and had an unbelievable career in the big leagues. It's amazing year after year. You just keep looking at the statistics he puts up, the wins that he puts up, and really happy for him that he's getting a chance at a championship. And he's a real ace. Those aren't out there, even in the big leagues, as you guys know. And is he pitching game one?
I think he's pitching game 2 because he threw out the bullpen. Yeah,
that's right. Okay, that's good. So he'll get a chance to pitch twice if it's a deep series. And big time fan of his. Get to see what he does in the off season here. He works out at the box and does his throwing, does his lifting. Super professional, and what a model, for our pitchers that want to be a big leaguer someday. And then with Paul, man, you talk about somebody you're super proud of. I mean, started off at a Division III school, and I think about my first year here, like, man, where we would have been if we didn't have him. And I pitched him like 3 times a week, every week for an entire season. And, and then you knew how important he was. And then he told me, and I think he told the whole world he was going to come back for his senior year. And then like 10 minutes later, signed with the Mets, I think it was, in the draft. I still give him a hard time about that because he's a big leaguer, but he had to trade a national championship for that. I mean, think about how more nasty that staff would have been. He would have been finishing Paul Skeen's games and all that, but just willed his way to the big leagues and really dominated. It takes a lot to get there, and he earned it. And really cool that he's part of the Dodgers, and really, really proud of him. So all of LSU baseball should be tuning into that with great interest.
Coach, I was with him in Omaha, and it was Paul Gervais and Trey Morgan, and he's 6'10" and very recognizable. But if Trey Morgan's walking around with his look, nobody noticed him. He was like, "Oh, Trey Morgan again." He's like, "Who's the big tall guy?" He's like, "I played for LSU." He's beating the table.
Yeah, I'm going, and he went to the big leagues right after that.
Right, got called up first.
Tomorrow. No, it's good. And, as a coach that, obviously we value winning and knowing what it takes to win. Guys like Trey, just every time there's runners on base, you want him up because you're going to take a winning at bat. You have the lead in the 8th inning. You want Paul to come in there because he's going to sink the ball, get weak contact, strike somebody out. Great competitive nature, and very thankful to those guys. And I think it's just something cool about LSU, just like you guys. You guys have come to Omaha and supported us, and we're star players here, and it still means our success still means so much to you. It was awesome to see those guys there. They both were just playing in the minor leagues or in AAA at that time in Omaha, and I mean, what a cool life thing. I started thinking about, hey, this team's in Omaha, and those guys were the foundation that got us there. Trey won a national championship. We wouldn't have had that good first year without Paul, and just super proud of those guys.
Yeah, it's a testament to what LSU is, and it kind of just always brings you back, and it's a special place. And you've obviously continued that tradition. Obviously, this fall, you're trying to go for a repeat national championship, which is always extremely hard. You have a lot of guys coming back that were key contributors on the national championship team, but you also have a lot of new faces. Fall practice is very much underway right now. You are in scrimmages. How has the transition been this fall? This is the second time you've had to do this, as far as winning a national championship and then having to come back in the fall as a champion. How has that transition been with the guys that are returning and the guys that have come in and try to do the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's been good. We are pretty step-by-step and how we do things. I will give a lot of credit to the returning players from last year's team, the Chris Stanfield, Jake Brown, Stephen Milam, Derek Carriel, Kason Evans, Cooper Williams, Maverick Rizzi, William Schmidt. These guys saw a really good blueprint of how this thing is supposed to go. And some of them were here 2 years ago, the team in between the championship teams, which was very good too. I think we won 43 games that year, but they know the difference in all the pieces that they can control in terms of the team dynamic, player leadership, accountability, and have really tried to pay those things forward. And so hats off so far to the returning players as far as, reinvesting in what we need to do to be successful, showing new players the way, and then the new guys have jumped right in, and we're gonna have several of them are gonna make key contributions. So it's been good. We're only really 10 or 11 practices into our fall deal. We've stretched this thing as late as we possibly can, and so we've had 2 weekends of scrimmages. Thought the second weekend was much better than the first weekend. This weekend will be great. We're getting some guys going on the mound that haven't gone yet, so that'll elevate the quality a little bit on the pitching side, and keep building it here for about 5 more weeks.
Jared.
Coach, good to see you again. It's been a while. We hadn't talked in a minute. Back when we got a chance to go to the White House, Mikey and I have talked about this at that time, it was completely different. Now, not only do you have incoming freshmen, but you also have guys who have experience in college ball who on campus, this is kind of gets to be one of those things where it's the first significant thing you get to do kind of as a team. Does that experience do anything significant in terms of changing them, gearing themselves up for the upcoming season, knowing that, hey, this is awesome. This is something I'm going to remember for a long time, but I also didn't do that on the field. Does that help them to be able to see some things like this, to be able to kind of push them forward to the next year?
Yeah, it's a really good question. We only took last year's team, obviously, and I just feel like that's the way that should be supposed to go.
I have no problem with that at all. That's why I was wondering. I'm like, yeah.
What a special honor and what a day. I can't even put it into words. But no, I think I heard some really good things from our players that played last year, that are here this year, that'll be returning next year even, like an extra deal of motivation. Yeah. And as a coach, I'm looking for anything that inspires them to be the very best that they can be. And it did for a few guys. And I mean, we were out here in 3-hour practice today, and it wasn't a team that was, still on the parade float, if you will. They got after it for the 3 hours. And we talked about doing this the right way. I had this conversation with them last week, hey, we're going to the White House. Then last night we went to the governor's mansion for dinner. Saturday we're getting our rings. And so I actually made a decision yesterday's practice. Tuesday's practice. We only practiced with the players because I was trying to think 12 hours earlier, these guys are in the White House. There's no way I'm going to run them through base running drills on October 20th. It's only a recipe for failure. So we let them kind of stay on the parade float for 48 hours, go to the governor's mansion, and we're back at it today. And we'll have 3 good days in a row here. Saturday we'll enjoy the ring ceremony, and then at that point it's kind of all right, we did the whole tour, whole deal, but I want them to celebrate it. You guys know how hard it is to do. And if we don't take time to acknowledge that, you kind of go why are we doing all this? Mm-hmm. And I never want them to feel that way. And then with this team, it's just about being mature. When we're working, let's work. And that's kind of that good leadership. Like I said, Jake Brown, Chris Stanfield, this guy's doing a great job.
Coach, you have you brought in obviously an extremely talented freshman class, and you brought in another extremely talented transfer class. You filled in some pieces. You have a lot of big pieces that you have to fill, right? You have your third base position. Obviously, I'm sure that's going to be a competition throughout the fall practice. You have your first base spot. You have, you're losing a bunch of homers from the middle of your lineup, but you also return a lot of young guys that are they're in year 2 and year 3 of their careers at LSU. You also replace a lot of the rotation, guys that are talented, guys that you probably envisioned that they were going to start when you got them here, but they haven't really been part of that rotation just yet. How has that development been so far? I know it's early on right now, but in the early stages of this fall practice, how pleased are you with their progression?
Yeah, I think you can't quantify what we were able to get out of winning the national championship last year and having young players be significant contributors to that team. Whether it was, Derek batting lead off and playing in the outfield, or those 4 freshman pitchers. If you think about it, you had Rizzy led our team in appearances. Cooper Williams pitched in a regional, super regional in Omaha. William Schmidt was 7-0, pitched in a regional, super
People
regional.
forget.
Kason Evans was freshman All-American and, one of the guys, the go-to guys. So we want them to use that experience well and then advance themselves forward. Cooper went out and did a training program we suggested for him. It has come back and has made a real significant jump. I think William looks great. He's thrown the ball outstanding the first 2 times out. Maverick, same type of deal. Went up, had some good success, couple outings in the Cape Cod League. And then Kaysen trained, and we're getting him on the mound for the first time this Friday. So excited about that. I feel like those guys are ready to make a jump. You need them to make a jump. And, I think we've done a really good job of blending this from guys that we've brought in from their freshman year and the right pieces from the portal, and kind of have a method of doing that. And part of that is the guys that you bring in at the front get better, like Stephen Milam did, like Jake Brown did on the position player side. And really looking for those pitchers to do that this year.
Jared.
Coach, I want to ask you about Chris Stanfield, but we can also talk about the entire outfield as a whole. I don't know where you are on this decision. I know there's been reports about, things being shuffled around. Can you just talk about the actual character and the makeup of those guys and what it actually takes to be able to do that? And then what kind of example guys willing to be that selfless kind of sets for the rest of the team as well?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I love Chris, and like a lot of people have made a big deal about this, and it's not been any deal here. And I just think that speaks to what kind of person he is. And the
But that's not easy to find. That is hard to find people that understand that, especially at that young of an age, and want to work and operate that way.
Yeah, so I really like that you brought that up, because we lay out at the beginning of the year, like, what's it going to take to win? And I even, brought you guys up as examples a couple years ago, the first time of this, I think, Mikie was a major league player and he wasn't a starter at the beginning of the year, his freshman year. Well, there's a freshman in that locker room that's going to play in the big league someday that's not going to start at LSU as a freshman.
Right.
And then there's a freshman that's going to start, that's going to take the job of somebody that was a starter on a national championship team. And how do you do all of that? And I think it's just talking expectations right from the start. And last year, our motto for the year was tough and together, and together meant team over me. And what that means is I will always place the needs of the team above my own. In this day and age, it's harder to get players to do that than ever before. So when you have the right ones, and it, like in recruiting, and as you're developing them, you have to lean into them and count on those guys. And I'm really proud of Chris. And I brought him here, and he didn't have a good sophomore year at Auburn, but I knew there was something in there. And the more I got to know him, it's like there couldn't have been a more perfect player for our team last year. And then, I'll be honest, when he called me and told me he was coming back the morning after the draft, I kind of got choked up, man, I can't believe I get another year with this dude, because he's such a special human being. And it's I got a bunch of pictures and cool stuff over here right now. I got a picture of me and Milam and Derek Curiel right after the championship, sitting there waiting for the award ceremony. And I got a picture of Chris, me, and Anthony at the celebration that we had at the stadium. And it all signifies, something significant and reminders, to me, of what it takes to do this at a high level. And this championship didn't happen with any one of those 4 guys, and they all ended up in different roads and different ways here. And it's really cool. But he's the man, and I'll tell you what, he's a better player today, October 22nd, than he was when he was diving in the outfield, making catches in the national title game and getting a huge 2 RBI single. He's going to be one of the best players in the country this year.
Oh, I love
Wow.
that. I love that. Coach, you talked about William Schmidt. I know there was a lot of hype with him coming in, rightfully so. You saw flashes of it last year, but as a freshman in the best conference in the country, it is obviously an adjustment. And I have seen a little bit of it. I haven't seen a ton of y'all of the scrimmages yet, but I've read and I've seen video. There's been conversation about him developing. I guess it's like a cutter type pitch that is something that he didn't have last year. Is that something that he's been working on over the summer? Is that something that was a constant that he was working on constantly throughout the course of last year, and now he's just kind of getting a better feel for it?
Well, I think his pitchability was advanced coming in, and it's only advancing more as we go. And there's other, small victories that I see that I view as big victories of just experience. Like, I'm trying to go through the schedule in my head, and I don't think we faced one freshman starting pitcher in the SEC last year of the 30 games that we played. And so I only bring that up to tell you, that's very abnormal, and I don't really remember. I think the only guy I can remember that's done it since I've been here was Drew Beam at Tennessee. So that tells you how unnormal that is, or abnormal. So I thought he had a good season. I thought there was some learning moments along the way, and there was for Cade Anderson as a freshman. And I think we all really like how he performed last year, and I think he'll be better. I think Maverick will be better. I think Cooper will be better. I think Kaysen will be better. And so I'm proud of the season that William had. I'm more proud of the maturity and development I see in him as a person and a player, and how he prepares and taking pieces, like you mentioned, and being able to add them shows the aptitude, the athlete, and the pitcher that he is. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of good things to come. Really excited about it, and he's been pitching on Sundays, so I have a little more juice in my step when I walk in here on Sundays, knowing he's taking the mound, and excited about where that's going.
I kind of want to expound on that really quick. With today's day and age, with these guys that come to school, they're a lot more, let's call it, technically advanced than before, obviously because they play so much baseball as youngsters, right? They do a lot of training, all of these things that grow up. How different is it now than maybe 5, maybe 10 years ago in terms of when you get guys and you're bringing in a William Smith, you're bringing in these guys and you're saying, hey, you're really, really good. If you add this, you subtract that, we do a little bit this different, you're going to take off. How hard is it to get those guys on board and understand that and really buy into that from day one to really own it and make it their own?
Yeah, really, another really good question. You're on fire tonight.
Hey,
not right now,
I'll go back to
just October too, baby.
That's right. You're in mid-season form, and I love it. So I'll go back to an old Coach Burtman term, the how to win awareness. I think players are coming in bigger, stronger, faster, more physical. I think they're coming in with a lower how to win awareness level. Like, the game's just played differently. And so we go really slow in the fall in terms of putting our pieces together. I'm not talking about the players or the personnel or how we're going to line up. I'm talking about our process of winning and how to win. And there's a lot of simplicity to it. And there is a lot of repetition to it. And so, if you came and watched a game, I'm accepting a few things that we haven't got to yet, that it's like I'll have to take this great freshman outfielding hitter named Mason Braun. He may do something in a game and I may not even correct it right there because we're not there yet. And I want it all to kind of happen in due time and take their talent. This is the goal of the whole thing is take their talent and turn it into usable skill that helps us win, which ultimately also makes them a more valuable player for where they want to go, which is pro baseball. So it's my favorite part of the job, honestly. I love this time of year and doing that. Just to give you an example, we've played 6 scrimmages and we're just getting to 2-strike hitting and our 2-strike hitting approach yesterday and today. And so we'll want that to be a little bit better this weekend than it was the first 2 weekends. And I'll use an example of in the 6 games, our batting average is like 396 when we put the ball in play, and it's like 251 when we don't. To just say, hey, if we just cut that in half, now you guys are all Americans and first rounders, right? all of that kind of stuff. So it's going good, and I love putting those pieces together.
We love that you love to put those pieces together. That's why there's no third of pro ball.
Oh, that's you're gonna expound on that, or you're just gonna let him stew on that? I'll expound on that, Coach. Obviously,
just stay.
Obviously,
Best shop in America.
College baseball has elevated its talent level with the NIL and the way the Major League draft is, and all of those types of things. The level of play has gone up. The level of coaching obviously has gone up. And you're now starting to see with this Tony Vitello move going to San Francisco, you're seeing Major League Baseball kind of try to dip their toe in the college baseball landscape as far as, hey, they're drafting more college guys. They're moving them a lot quicker than they had in the past. And now they're going in, they're trying to kind of poach some of these college coaches and see how they fare in Major League Baseball. Do you find that as a positive thing for college baseball?
Yeah, I think so. And Tony did a great job at Tennessee, and I wish him nothing but success with the Giants. And I just think I'm a big believer in college baseball.
Yeah.
I think you guys, as great prospects, would say your lives, careers, everything turned out better because you went to college. You came to LSU.
Correct.
Now, that's what I believe to my core. And I believe, like, some of the best coaches in all of sports are in college baseball. And I'm not even talking about like the last couple of years. I'm even talking about going back to my time out west.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I remember when I was at Nevada and like playing Mik'd at Fresno State. And it's just like you end up playing like 6 or 8 times a year because you have 2 series in the conference tournament. You might as well have been in like the American League East.
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool, and I'm happy for him, and looking forward to, hopefully more of our players get to go to professional baseball and they leave here prepared, and I want them to leave knowing that we did everything that we could to get them prepared to live their dream, to play at the highest possible level and be those winning type of players. Where teams want to have them on their postseason roster and help them pursue a world championship, because you guys know those margins in the big leagues are really, really small. And so it takes a lot to get ready to do that, and we want to help guys do that.
That's all Lloyd wanted to hear. He just wanted you to hear you say, "I love college baseball."
I know he's not going. He's not. Dad's not going to leave me at the altar. We're fine.
That's all he wanted to hear.
I've never have any concern about this. Don't break my heart. I swear to God. I don't know what would happen to me. You're the only good thing in my life right now. But I do want to say, you talked about kind of the guys that you've recruited and the guys you've gotten out of the portal, and it's been this mindset of being able to instill. It's like you almost recruit, and I've heard you say this before, you recruit the person before the player. And I feel like you got that when you talked about Stanfield, and I wanted to see how that kind of has, I guess, manifested itself whenever you go into the portal again, because college baseball has changed, and how much you still evaluate that part of it.
Yeah, I evaluate it a lot. Somebody told me something really important when I took this job. They said, saying no to players in the position you're at now sometimes is more important than saying yes. And it doesn't mean that we always get it right. And it doesn't mean that we expect guys to come in perfectly prepared to do what we need to do. Like, as a coach, our job is to help people become the best that they can be, both as a person and as a player. Like, I believe that. So there's just characteristics you look for. And like the pride I have in like last year's championship is like when I think about Chris Stanfield, when I think about Zach Cowan, when I think about Danny Dickinson, when I think about Luis Hernandez, I mean, we were Anthony Ianson, of course. Like, I can't even quantify, like, that is the exact deal, like, we're searching for, is the right player that can help you win any type of game that you play, that make everybody else around them better because they're in this building. Like, that's what we were able to do. And so, you can't get it right like that all the time, but we sure do try. And we definitely did that last year. And so I think it's a good model, good blueprint, going forward, like I was talking about, of blending good players that we're bringing in and playing as freshmen. 4 freshman pitchers on a national championship team making that contribution, that's significant. Derek was one of the best players in the entire country. He just happened to be a freshman. And then getting those other guys that fit real needs that we have. Ethan Fry's development, from freshman year to, that guy killed it for us. He's a huge reason we won the championship. And then he went out in pro ball and tore it up. It's awesome. So
I tried my best to recruit him back, Coach. I tried.
Yeah, we all did, I think. But I'll tell you something about that. I don't know if we talked about that after the draft, but that is all good. That was the bar. What happened? Yeah. That was the bar. And Astros are a good organization, man. I don't know that there was another team out there at that bar, but they were. And so I'm happy for Ethan, and he's working his tail off out here every day, and he'll be there soon. So we'll be seeing him hit him over the train tracks or whatever that deal is in Houston a bunch here pretty soon.
A lot more pop than the Crawford box, though. He don't necessarily live right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I do have a question for you, because I think we kind of all lose sight of this. The players, for the most part, you get to play the season, you get to do some fall ball, you do some summer ball. Things are, there's segments of the year that are completely different for them. I think people kind of lose sight of it, that for you, especially as a head coach, it's on, right? It's on. At what point of the year, outside of obviously opening day, at what point of the year do you kind of slap yourself and you're all right, it's on. This is who we got. This is what I mold, and let's see where we are in June.
J. Mitch is 365.
Yeah.
But that roster's not the same 365. So, at what point of the year, because I know you're always on. Hell, your car lives at that damn ballpark. So, what point of the year is it just completely different for you, where you understand, this is where we are, let's mold this?
Yeah, I think it's different every year for every team. I tell people all the time, the 23 team, we went down to ULL in the fall. It was the second to last weekend of the fall, and they were good. They actually ended up being a 43-win team that year. Went to a regional final, I think. And we put it on them, and put it on them good. Matt Diggs was who I respect a lot, was holy cow, man. And Skeens didn't even pitch that day. We'd already shut him down for the fall. And Tommy's hitting opposite field homers, and Jared Jones is a freshman hitting it out at center field, and Dylan's Dylan, and Grant Taylor, who missed the whole year that year with Tommy John, stuffed them, struck out.
In the big leagues. Right.
Yeah, in the big leagues. And I remember getting on the bus that night and going we definitely can do this. And I never said that to the players or anything like that, but it was we're ready to roll. Now last year, maybe a little later, I think we started out the year 31-3, and I remember starting to tell the team hey, I would coach you guys forever. Just how we operated in every fashion was really remarkable. And then we got swept at Auburn, and then we came back, and then that weekend I think we won 2 out of 3 against Alabama, who was very good, and then we beat Tennessee 2 out of 3, who was very good. And we did it having to really grind. It was, as baseball people, we all know, it's just how baseball games go, but it wasn't we'd hit our stride totally yet, but we were still finding ways to win after having a tough series at Auburn. And probably then I was hey, this is possible. And I started talking to them about, hey, this is wide open. This is just purely about who plays better. And we have the blueprint. Let's keep doing it. Let's outlast people mentally and in this blueprint. And we did that. And like I said, I have a tremendous amount of pride in that team because of how they just went about their business. So it happens at different times.
Yeah. Well, Coach, obviously we're excited about what you got cooking this year. We're going to come out. You're going to see Lloyd and I behind the first base dugout.
That's right. Run a couple more plays for us.
We're going to go. Yeah. Hey, we saw it first. We saw
it worked.
We saw it the first time last fall. You ran it about 7 times in the season. It worked in the fall. It worked a lot of times during the season. We're gonna be there again. You're gonna see us pop in every now and then. We're excited about the season for y'all. Obviously, we're excited about what's to come, and then excited that y'all were able to experience the last week of memorable experiences. White House, Governor's Mansion, and then
Saturday night,
Saturday, right? It's in the PMAC.
Right? It'll be on the field.
Yes, ring ceremony. I think it's 4:45.
Yep.
I mean, it's on the website, but like that's a big deal to me. Like that's the pinnacle of the national championship, and I've seen them, and they're big time.
I can't wait to look at them from afar.
Our 23 ring is nice, and this ring makes that ring look like it's a conference tournament championship.
I'm sure the guys in 23 are very thrilled about that. Like, damn.
I know, like, hey, I'm not a jewelry designer, but this one came out big league.
Well, we can't wait to see it. Much deserved, and glad to have you back on. We'll have you again on here in a couple weeks to check back in on the fall, and good luck the rest of the way.
Cool. All right, guys. Have a great night.
You also need to do some design stuff back there. I see you updated the background, but they didn't leave a lot of room for maybe what's to come.
Oh, that thing, yeah, that's pretty sweet. So it was actually really cool. Like we just kind of talked about like a concept, and I actually was gone recruiting for like 3.5 weeks.
Oh, no shit.
I walked back in. I was like, "Holy cow, that's awesome!" So I got, Case and Evans jumping on a manager's head, and then up there you got Paul Skeens jumping on somebody.
That's pretty awesome.
With a broken foot over here in the corner, and so it's pretty cool. But yeah, hey, if you got to update graphics and numbers and all that stuff, what a good problem to have.
Great problem to have, no doubt.
Yes, indeed.
Coach, enjoy the rest of your night. We appreciate you.
Cool. All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. It's good to have him back on.
Oh, God, it just makes my heart warm.
I know. Look, we needed some positivity.
It changed my week.
Didn't it make you feel better?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more positive for the weekend?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Can he coach both?
You just brought it right back down.
But the man is.
What a week, man. What a week for them. Honestly, going to the White House.
A good coach sounds like.
Going to the White House, pretty awesome. Obviously, they get to reap the benefits of winning a national championship, and then they get to get their rings. It sucks that hopefully it doesn't rain, but they're getting their rings in the PMAC, and I guess they're going to get it acknowledged on the field. I would imagine.
Yeah, he was begging for and he got his wish. He asked for a night game for Greg Sankey. He went to the podium and said, "Look, if I can ask for anything."
Who said this?
Jay Johnson.
Oh, Jay did?
Yeah, he was like, "Can we make it at night?" Because he wanted to, give them the appropriate, I guess, send-off of like, this is really special to me. It should be special to them. Like, if I can do anything, Greg, make the A&M game at night. Gets his wish. He still has some pull, obviously, and probably has more. Hopefully, Jesus, if you don't leave, at least stay for that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be early on in the game.
Yeah, it'd be like.
Is it gonna be halftime?
I don't know if it's gonna be halftime, but you know how they do it. But I hope something good happens before they go out.
Maybe that'll be the energy that the stadium
I think so. Let them call a play.
Yeah, there you go.
Let them run it.
Let them run the ball.
Yeah.
Let them run the football.
10 yards of carry.
It was nice. Nice to have a little
He's
baseball.
The best.
Time. We do need to go to a fall practice.
Yes, of course. You tell me.
We can't transition back into football after that.
Fuck no.
No.
Well, do you think that they have the rings like the? Do you see the
Thunders?
Yes, the double ring.
That's actually very smart.
It is because you can't wear it.
You can't wear the ring. It's too big.
Even y'all's, I would imagine, too big.
Can't wear it. Yeah.
And now they've only tripled in size.
Yeah. But they have an extra ring in there
that you can wear. Which I think is very cool.
I would never wear it regardless. I'm not a ring guy other than my wedding ring, but
I don't. Yeah. What? So what would you like?
Event like?
No. I know that. I'm saying like, what would it be?
I think it's a different type of ring, though, man. Like, that's not just the style ring. It actually means something to you. You work for it. Like, I'm with you on that. Like, I can't wear
the
ring.
Let's try hard.
I can't even put my hand in my pocket. But if that were something I had, I would definitely think about it.
Yeah, I would try. Right? I would try to incorporate it in my attire. Yeah. I just don't know how that would. It just depends on what it would look like on.
At this point in your life, it couldn't be your ring finger. It would have to be like the right hand or the pinky ring or
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
pinky
what I'm
ring would
saying,
be
like the pinky
legit.
ring.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Or
Cock ring.
No, Jesus. Or you take the ring, like not the big ring, but you take the other ring and you just put it like on like a little necklace.
Yeah.
And you let that. I mean,
that ends up being a big necklace though too.
not
the little ring.
Yeah, I'm talking about the little ring, not the big
Yeah.
ring, because it's still at that point still doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But the little ring will look fine on that if you want to do that. I think it's like a little pendant. But yeah, much deserved. Very fired up for him. And hopefully
Very
they
fired
bring
up
some
for
juice.
2020. What is it? 2026.
2026.
Needs to get here faster than it's
coming
to sprint.
quick. It's
But I
coming
know
quick.
they need time. I love the way that he talked about that too, like his approach of.
I want to
letting-
bring John Michael to the game. That's my baby's name.
Oh, John Michael Mahtook, JMM,
John Michael Anthony Mahtook. So John
Jam.
Michael's the first name.
Jam
Jam Mahtook. That's what everybody needs to call him.
Jam Job.
Jam Mahtook.
Hopefully not too many jam jobs. Lot of barrel. Let's
No,
get on
But
that
it's-
barrel.
A lot of barrel. Or unless he's a pitcher. Jam.
Oh, fuck yeah! I don't know. He's gonna be a football player. Go to
He
Alabama. Don't let him commit to BK. He won't be here.
I mean, Jesus Christ. BK will be dead.
God willing.
I mean, Jesus
I mean, if
Christ.
BK's here, I think Lloyd, you'd be a lot happier about what's going on with the football program.
Something
I
good
just-
happened. Yeah.
I just think. So.
I mean, that'd be 19 years away.
Yeah. Are you gonna hold him back?
It's January. Can't hold him back.
Well. What about you, J. Mitch? You hold your kid back? That was the
His
big
kid's
deal.
the same. It'd be the same, almost the same day as my kid.
Same thing.
Could y'all imagine? I'm talking.
We have imagined. We've
I
talked
would
about
imagine that you've imagined.
it. We've talked about it.
That would be odd. I mean, they're not going anywhere else.
Well, we just have to. We're gonna have to have a travel ball team that has Houston and Louisiana on it.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about college. Y'all
Purpose.
care
Yeah,
about
but you got a long ways to get to college. You got to develop them, kid. Coach.
Yeah.
that. I think Jay's still going to be here in 18 years.
That's possible.
That's
Very
possible.
I think he'll. Even,
That'd be actually awesome. Actually,
The trajectory says it's possible, right?
yes. Even if they suck, he
That'd be great.
he would take them as a courtesy.
that'd be great.
We've been talking to him for 20. Like we would still be doing the show. Like you gotta get my. If y'all don't want to keep doing this, you should at least do it for your children. Be like, look, I have a good relationship with the coach. I've talked to him for 20 years. Take
He'll
my
shoot you
kid.
straight.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
develop him.
We've talked about it. You know, yeah. There's a lot. Clay Moffitt's kid's gonna be 3. He doesn't have. He's having a boy or girl, but he's gonna be 3 weeks after us.
I
We got a lot of.
need to get going.
We got a lot of people that we know that are.
It made actually a
Popping 'em
bad
out.
time for me to do it.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Well, no, that's a tough recruiting class to crack.
Well, you're the next year.
Jared
You're
Mitchell's
the year
son
after.
and Mikey Mott. Yeah,
You're
okay.
the year after.
Yeah.
You'd be the year after at this point. You'd be good.
You
to
just
go.
gotta hope he can just play up.
Yeah,
Play
Jam's
up in
gonna
the
have to develop my son. You know,
That's it. Teach
look
him.
up to
Couple
him.
lessons, you know.
Teach him.
What's
the
your
ways.
name? Your kid? Do you know?
No, not yet. Well,
Not a lot of Black Lloyd, so I guess that's off the
No,
table.
there is. Lloyd McClendon was.
Yeah.
He was my hitting coach in
Yeah,
Detroit.
there you go. Baseball.
He was my hitting coach in Detroit.
He took that base, remember, for the Pirates?
He did take the base. He did when he was a manager for the Pirates.
yeah.
Yep, he sure did. All right, let's get to the Seggies.
Oh, the Saggies. The Saggies. The Saggies. The
Yeah,
Saggies,
do you have a
the
mistake of the day?
Saggies.
No, Lloyd's still thinking about, man, I got to talk to my dad today.
Yeah, I really just had, that's usually when I kind of find some of the stuff that I'm looking for, like I'll kind of peruse. I was locked in. I was on the verge of tears, but I do have a mistake of the day. Considering, did you think it was interesting? The Sean Payton and Russell Wilson dynamic is still going on. Like he hates Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson hates him.
They hate each
They
other.
both don't like each other.
And I
It's
just
it seems to me like things were a lot deeper and there was a lot more going on there than what they even alluded to at that time. That's what it seems like to me.
It didn't seem like Michael Thomas liked him either.
I don't know about that. That's the one that's confusing to me.
Or maybe he did like him.
And didn't like the way he was being like
Really
the
did.
fact
After
that
he
he
left.
left. Yes, but this is Sean Payton, and this is I guess more Russell Wilson responding as the mistake of the day. But Sean Payton going out of his way,
Out of his way.
like really did just take an absolute shot at Russell, And I think he probably does like Jackson Dart. He has his own Jackson Dart and Bo Nix.
Well, can I say something before you do this?
Of course.
Mike Tomlin did something similar. It just wasn't
As overt.
directed to Russell Wilson. It was directed at, hey, do not let this guy get out of the game. Don't get to Joe Flacco. Keep Anthony Richardson in the game. That was his comment.
Yes.
So, like, similar.
And then you've seen Joe Flacco's unbelievable. He looked great.
Looked great.
But here is somebody that has not aged as, I guess, as a fine wine in Russell Wilson, and Sean Payton was very much looking forward to playing him.
I have a ton of respect for that organization. I spent 4 of my early years there coordinating Super Bowl, first game in this stadium before 9/11, close with the mayor, Tisch family. And, you know, they found a little spark with that quarterback. I was talking to John Mayer not too long ago, and I said we were hoping that change would have happened long after our game. I have a ton of respect for that organization. I spent 4 of my
And like went to play. I know exactly what he's going to do.
It was a compliment and a shot at the same time.
Yes. I don't know how else you could say it. It's like, I had a great game plan if it was Russell.
Kind of wasn't even a full compliment because he just said, hey, you found like a little bit of a spark.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit of, and that quarterback, he didn't even name him. He didn't even name him by name.
By name. And I think we do have a. Is this considered a show curtain call?
Yes, and I know it was Wednesday and it was Ask Mikey Mitch, so we apologize if we had any questions, but
no, we didn't promote it.
Okay, perfect.
We
had a big show.
Everybody was just so vehemently on Jay Johnson. They're like, thank God. He is. I don't know if anybody has more.
We just want to give everybody some positivity.
That's all they were saying. It's like, thank God, this actually did change my day.
Perfect. I'm glad we could help.
He earned it.
But yeah, I think this is
the temperament around him has changed quite a bit, wouldn't you say? I feel like not everybody was on board
because
I don't know why.
And look, there's some people are somehow reason are going to be off board at some point again.
That's because they don't know ball.
Yeah, but this is a show curtain call. I actually texted George after the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, I have to sit to filibuster for me for a second to sit.
So I texted him after the morning after, and I was like, "Hey, dude, like, this is Mikey. I have to make sure he has my number still." I was like,
888.
I was like, watched last night. I was like, unfucking believable, man. Like,
what a moment.
What an unbelievable moment. Gave me goosebumps. I was like, you deserve it. Couldn't happen to anybody better. I go finish off this thing. And then I sent the next text was, I hope this is still your same number or some random person is extremely confused right now.
Yeah.
And he started laughing. He goes, nah, this is
I'm not even that confused. Like, oh, wow. I had George Parker's number.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. And he was like, no, I got your number. Whatever. I appreciate you. We're going to go get it. And that was it.
And here is the homer that sent the Toronto Blue Jays to the World Series. And also, like, side curtain call to Kevin Gossman. Coming in, he threw an inning?
And he battled through that inning.
And grinded it out.
Yep. Double play.
But this was one of the, like, this is, like, but they say, like, how can you not be romantic about baseball?
Yep.
This is one of those.
I'm not going to say anything. Can I tell you this?
Elite.
You know how lightheaded he was after that scream?
Oh my God, he probably threw up.
Guerrero, like,
he sprinted,
and then he screamed, like, definitely seeing stars.
Mm-hmm.
But what a moment!
Like,
what an atmosphere! Like I told y'all, Toronto is unbelievable. When they're good, like that is unbelievable. And that situation, like, what a moment!
Like that's one of the things that you could. Like, you would give your life for.
What a moment.
Just that one moment.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not even the World Series.
And he's hit a lot of big home runs in the postseason.
He's won a World Series.
He has 23 home runs in postseason play, and he has 9 game-tying or going-head home runs in postseason play.
Top 5 or top 3 ever in postseason play?
That's crazy.
Yeah, top 3, I think.
Yeah.
Close to being 1, I think.
I think Altuve and maybe Manny Ramirez or something like that.
see.
In front of
Right,
him.
Ortiz.
Most postseason home runs.
It's not Derek Jeter.
Most
No.
career postseason
I
home
know
runs.
Altuve's in front of him, which is crazy to think, but
He cheated.
He's one of those guys.
So Manny's got 29.
There you go. Manny won.
Jose Altuve's got 27.
Boy, I'm pretty good.
Schwarber is tied with
Oh,
Springer
let's
with
go!
23.
Yeah! Come on.
Yep, 23. Tied with Schwarber with 23.
Schwarber's had some massive ones also.
Yeah. That was awesome.
That is, yeah, like I would.
Schwarber came into the league homering in the postseason. It pretty much
No
feels
doubt.
like that's the first thing he did when he got in the league.
No doubt.
Oh, he hit one, like they framed it in Wrigley. It's still up there.
Yeah, way back.
Way back.
Way back. He gets into it now.
That's
But-
Sammy Sosa territory.
Yeah, without the juice.
We're
Or
not
corked-
sure
Or
that
corked bat.
he
I
hurt.
mean,
His,
the manufactured juice, because he got juice.
Yeah, right. Right, the fake juice.
that's right. He hurt his back when he sneezed. He was playing hurt.
Who?
Sammy.
That's why he took steroids?
Yeah, he had to get fixed.
Yeah.
It was medical.
And so it just lasted the rest of his career?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he had to cork the bat because of his back.
And then he bleached himself. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know what he did to his skin.
That's all.
Okay,
That's,
that's
I think he reversed it, though. I think
He
it's back.
did, he got
I think
back.
it's back. I think it's back.
Pepto-Bismol.
That's all we got for you today on this beautiful Wednesday. We'll be back live in studio on Friday.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, we appreciate Jay. We appreciate Cam. We appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. If you like what you heard or like what you saw, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch us but you like listening to us or anywhere you get your pods, again, we appreciate the love and support. We'll see you on Friday. Enjoy your night.
Quick. Cookie Riley, LSU injury report for Wednesday. This came out 18 minutes ago. Tyree Adams is out. Whit Weeks is doubtful. Bernard Gooden is questionable. Jamari Butler is probable.
Okay. So potentially one of the three, maybe two of the three.
Questionable is out. Doubtful is out. Out is out. If I know how that man speaks.
Okay. All right.
Thank you,
With
Jay.
that note, way to knock us back down.
Yep.
All right. Enjoy your Wednesday night. We love y'all. Peace.
Balloons. Fireworks. For Jay. Let's go.
Jay Johnson makes everything better. Makes it all better.
Love y'all. Love you, Jay.